Jordan, we are moving right along with our top 5 series on the channel. We've been going through every position group throughout the offseason, and it's been a fun ride. We've made some lists that me and you have been very confident and happy about. We've made some lists that we're like, I don't really like our list, but hey, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So maybe in a couple of years we'll revisit it and do it again, just to see, if some new players have made their way on the list or how we feel differently then. But it has been a fun ride, and one of the few position groups that we have left is safety. So the day has come for the top 5 safeties of all time for the Clemson Tigers, according to me and you. I got to put that disclaimer out there because every time we make a top 5 list, we always got names that we leave off, and there's always controversy with lists, but they're fun to make. They're fun for debate. They're fun to spark conversation, especially as we are in the desert of the college football offseason officially at this point. Now that spring is completely wound down, the transfer portal, there's not, too much fireworks there. So top 5 safeties of all time for the Clemson Tigers, according to me and you. Let's go.
All right.
I'll let you read it off.
Yeah. When you think Clemson and safety, I mean, there's really one name that probably stands out above the rest. It's kind of obvious. I think everybody knows Brian Dawkins. I think this is probably one of the more no-brainer names. Like, I feel pretty confident about where he's going to be on this list. Well, who knows? We'll see. I think that Brian Dawkins, I think you have to have on the list with just has a legit argument as one of the best football players to ever play at Clemson. And obviously his NFL career was outstanding. He was Clemson's first Hall of Famer. All of that, but what he was at Clemson he was just, I don't want to say just as great, but he was pretty damn special. That's for sure. And he wasn't always on some great teams, but individually he was one of the best football players to do it here. So yeah, Brian Dawkins, I think that's an obvious pick.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the name that a lot of Clemson fans would come out with at number 1. Brian Dawkins, just an absolute headhunter of a safety. Like you're like when you think of old school safety, you think of a guy like Brian Dawkins. Like that dude, like was almost possessed on a football field. He just his personality off the field and on the field, 2 completely different things, right? Like he was an absolute headhunter, trying to inflict as much pain on his opponent as he possibly could at the safety position. And as a fan, that's what we love to see, right? That's kind of some of the stuff that, although football is maybe safer now, as a football fan for my entire life, I do miss some of those big-time hits that would have gotten Brian Dawkins in today's age completely ejected out of the game. But they were fun to watch back in the day. And he's absolutely, he probably had a better NFL career than he did a Clemson career, but that's not to discount what he did at Clemson. He just had an amazing Hall of Fame NFL career to go with it. So, yeah, I think Brian Dawkins makes a lot of sense as the guy that's mentioned first. I'm going to go Terry Kennard. 2-time All-American, Jim Thorpe Award winner in 1982. Definitely one of the guys that is mentioned up towards the top when you think about defensive backs at Clemson, right? So that's what
that I think those two are pretty squarely. I think we know where those guys are going to go. Terry Kiner, absolutely, he has to be on there.
Yeah, we're not ranking them yet, but I think those are your 1 and 2. And if you talk to Clemson fans, some of them will interchange those 2 guys as 1 and 2. Some people think
Yeah, they
Terry
might. Yeah,
Bernard had
because
a
some of them will give Terry Kiner the nod because of the championships, and
yeah.
being a multi-year, and just the Denny Ford players are always just going to get. They're going to get some special treatment.
Yeah, I mean, and Terry, and Brian, they're kind of interchange those, and I think based off of who you're talking to, different Clemson fans are going to have one guy one, the other guy two, and vice versa. But what I don't think is you will talk to very many Clemson fans that don't have those guys one and two, in whatever order it is. So I think that's those two names are pretty easy right off the cuff.
All right. I'm going to go. Ooh, there's a couple of names I got swirling in my head, but I'm going to go with DeAndre McDaniel. We had him on the mistakenly had him on the cornerbacks list last
We
week.
did, yeah, that was bad. Last week I had him on the cornerback list, but yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I'm going to go DeAndre McDaniel for all the reasons that we talked about last week.
Right. Yeah.
Just phenomenal football player, and just kind of what he was one of the first safeties, at least especially in my lifetime, that was just truly memorable because of he made highlight plays. He was a dog, and obviously he had the accolades to go with it, but yeah, he's always going to be one of my personal favorites. So DeAndre McDaniel, I think is pretty. I think that's another guy you kind of have to have on the list somewhere.
Yeah, DeAndre McDaniel, absolutely. I think a guy that you got to have on the list. I'm going to go. Let's see, who do I want to put here? I'm going to go Marcus Gilchrist.
Okay, I like that.
Throwing it out there. He had a really good career at Clemson, and he had a really good career in the NFL as well. So I'm going to throw his name out there. He may end up in the top 5. He may not, but I think he's deserved to have a little bit of love in this conversation.
Yeah, that's a good pick. I wasn't even thinking about I wasn't even thinking about him. That's a good pick though. It's a really great pick. All right, I'm gonna go J-Ron Curse.
Yes, sir.
I think you got to have J-Ron, man. Phenomenal player. One of the more underrated players of the Dabo Swinney era. And maybe that's probably a popular. That might not even be like true to say because it feels like everybody says, "Man, J-Ron was so underrated. He was so good." And but like seriously, like what he was on the back end of those Clemson defenses, he was kind of unsung just because of how good the front seven was. But I think J-Ron you have to have on the list.
Yeah, I think so too. So, I got a question about a guy that I want to mention. And he was a hybrid player, if you will. Isaiah Simmons. I know he was kind of linebacker, kind of.
We already put him on the linebackers list.
We did, yeah.
But we're just throwing out names like that. We don't stop at 5
because he did play some safety. He was a hybrid. Like I think he's deserved to be mentioned in it. I don't know that he'll make the top 5 list just because he wasn't a pure safety at Clemson, right? But he was kind of that, like, I don't know. He was a special player at Clemson. He could play safety. He could play linebacker. He could play nickel. Like that dude could literally play.
He played defensive end, man. Like
like I said, like he could literally almost play every position on the defense outside of like D tackle and cornerback.
Yeah. And hell, I mean, you could put him on some bigger, some bigger slots and slot receivers, and he'd be okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no doubt. So, Probably an honorable mention there, but I just got to get his name out there. One of my favorite Clemson players of all time. Fun player to watch just because he was all over the field. And Brent Venables just knew how to move him around and create all sorts of havoc with him. So honorable mention for our old buddy Isaiah Simmons.
Yeah, that's a great pick. All right. I'm going to go Robert O'Neill.
Robert O'Neill, yep.
Another phenomenal safety that I believe he holds the record for the most takeaways, I believe, in a season. I think he had 8 interceptions in his final year, 9 total takeaways. I think you have to have him on the list. He holds a lot of Clemson school records. He was a playmaker, man. So I think you gotta include him.
Dexter Davis.
Oh, Dexter Davis popped up in my. But when you mentioned it before the show, Dexter Davis popped in my head, and I was like, oh, I have to mention him, and then I completely forgot. I'm glad you said him.
Yeah, Dexter Davis. Dexter Davis. Got to mention him. Played for us in the 90s.
Yep. Dexter Davis. He was kind of in that transition period, wasn't he, between Ford and Hatfield?
Yeah, he played in the early 90s. Yeah.
Yeah. So great player, man. How many are we at now?
All right. So we got Brian Dawkins. We got
Terry Kiner.
Kiner. Yep. We got Dexter Davis. We got Marcus Gilchrist. We got Jaron Kearse, Robert O'Neill, and DeAndre McDaniel.
How many is that?
7.
Okay. Let's do one more.
One more. Go ahead. I'll let you get the last one, and then we'll go into ranking 1 through 5, and then our honorable mentions.
All right. More recency bias. I'm going to go R.J. Mickens.
Yes. I'm glad you said that. I was going to say him, and somehow I forgot about him. I don't know.
Huge R.J. Mickens guy. Damn, Garnett Lee just mentioned you mentioned Jonathan Meeks. That would have been a good pick too. But I gotta go with I gotta go with R.J. Mickens.
TJ Green's another good one.
Yeah.
Dang.
Man, okay, we might have to. Can we expand? I'm going to put both of them. Let's expand it to 10 for today, because I don't feel it doesn't feel right leaving off TJ
Green's got to be in there, no doubt.
As a second, I mean, he went the second round, didn't he?
Yes.
Kayvon, oh my God.
Yeah, Kayvon Wallace.
Oh brother, okay. Now the names are flowing in. Okay, we can't. Okay, no, we got.
Here's the thing though. And I'm gonna call out the chat section real quick. They always do this to us at the end.
I know they wait until we've already had names together, and then they start throwing out other names.
They wait till we get 6, 7 names deep, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, hey, what about this guy? Hey, what about this guy?"
It's like, okay, well now we don't have enough room.
I see what y'all are doing. Y'all ain't slick.
That's evil.
Yeah, y'all ain't slick. I'm on to you.
Tanner Muse. Listen, okay. People, Clemson fans always mention Tanner Muse. And listen, I'm not a guy to defend Tanner Muse. I have some personal experience with that guy, but he was not as bad of a player as he got drafted for a reason. He wasn't I feel like people mention Tanner Muse in jest, and it's it's not that. I think it's a little unfair. I think he was a good football player for Clemson. I don't know if he belongs on a top 5 safeties list, but I think he was largely a good player. he just his bad moments really stuck out. But anyway, that's my very slight Tanner Muse defense.
Yeah, people used to kill him, man.
Yeah.
Clemson fans. Yeah.
But he was, I mean, he got drafted. I mean, largely he tested very well. That was a lot of the reason why. But like, I mean, the guy was playing safety and he in a linebacker body. Like, I mean, you're gonna get beat sometimes. Like he like expecting him to be the fastest, player when you're trying to. I remember he got burned in the the national championship against LSU was bad. He got cooked even in the win over Alabama. I don't know how he ended up on was it Jerry Jeudy? Like how I don't know how he got messed up with Jerry Jeudy on like a post route, but it happened. And the fans would see stuff like that and be like, "Man, he's such a bad player." And I'm like, "Okay, well that's not fair."
Yeah.
But at the same time, yeah, okay. I'm not gonna do a Tanner Muse defense on here. I've done enough of that.
All right, so here we go, Jordan. I got all the names down, so we can pick through this now top 10 and make it a top 5 and then eventually a top 10. Clemson safeties of all time. All right, so I'm just going to rattle off the names that we've talked about so far, and then we can go into ranking these people. All right, here we go. Terry Kiner, Brian Dawkins, Dexter Davis, Marcus Gilchrist, Robert O'Neill, Jaron Kearse, DeAndre McDowell, TJ Green, Jonathan Meeks, Kayvon Wallace. Let's just start easy.
Okay.
One and two. 1 and 2. I'm going Brian Dawkins, then Terry Kennard.
Me too.
Okay. Well, that was easy.
Yeah, that was easy.
Here comes the hard part. All right, so 1, Brian Dawkins, 2, Terry Kennard. All right. So 3 through 5. I'm going to name the names: Dexter Davis, Marcus Gilchrist, Robert O'Neill, Jaron Kearse, DeAndre McDaniel, TJ Green, Jonathan Meeks, Kayvon Wallace. Who we putting at 3?
Okay, yeah, this one's going to be tough because safety. It's always hard to grade safeties.
That's why we had to expand it to 10.
Yeah. All right. Number three. Let's go. Say the list one more time.
Dexter Davis, Marcus Gilchrist, Robert O'Neill, Jaron Kearse, DeAndre McDaniel, TJ Green, Jonathan Meeks, Kayvon Wallace.
Like the first 2 are obvious, and then like you have then like this group is just there's a lot of interchangeability here.
Yeah, I mean, I think this was going to be really opinion based. I mean, I could go DeAndre McDaniel there. I could go Jaron Kearse there, honestly.
Let's go DeAndre McDaniel.
Okay.
Correct.
DeAndre McDaniel 3. All right.
Maybe that might be too high, but shoot. Number 4.
Dexter Davis, Marcus Gilchrist, Robert O'Neill, Jaron Kearse, TJ Green, Jonathan Meeks, Kayvon Wallace.
I'm going to go Dexter Davis.
Dexter Davis.
Okay. Now 5.
Oh, you know who I don't? No. RJ Mickens.
Oh yeah. I mean that's fine. I don't think I'm going to put RJ top 5 anyway.
Not top 5, but he's up there. I mean, Robert O'Neill, Jaron Kearse, those 2 dudes got to be up there.
Yeah, I think, I'm gonna go Robert O'Neill. I mean, interceptions as a safety, like you're not. It's kind of hard to rack up a ton
Yeah.
because the ball is always being thrown directly your way, and to have as many as he did. I that doesn't feel right though. Yeah, no, let's do it. Robert O'Neill, if you agree. Who are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the ones like Robert O'Neill, Jaron Curse. Um, those dudes are definitely up there. I see everybody in the chat saying Kayvon.
I don't think I can put Cave on top 5.
All right. So here's the top 5 right now. It's not locked in. We can still change it.
Yeah.
Okay. But I'm going to rattle it off. We'll see how we feel. Number 1, Brian Dawkins. Number 2, Terry Kynard. Number 3, DeAndre McDaniel. Number 4, Dexter Davis. Number 5, Robert O'Neill. Left out of the top 5 is Marcus Gilchrist, Jaron Curse, TJ Green, Jonathan Meeks, Kayvon Wallace, RJ Mickens.
How do we feel good about that?
I mean, I think it's as good as it's going to get right now. It's safety's tough for me. I really like our 1 and 2. After that, I think all the guys we got in our top 5 are deserving of the top 5. If I'm looking at the names and thinking about it,
you know who we didn't mention, Jadar Johnson. I don't think.
Yeah.
Okay, I shouldn't have even done that, but shouldn't have even thought about it. But he just came into my head.
Robert Carswell. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't need any more names. All right, so let's stick with that. Top 5, according to me and Jordan, Clemson safeties of all time as of April 23rd, 2025. Number 1, Brian Dawkins. Number 2, Terry Kynard. Number 3, DeAndre McDaniel. Number 4, Dexter Davis. Number 5, Robert O'Neill. You guys let us know what you think in the comments. I'm sure there will be 1,000% agreement with our list. And we got a couple more to rank here, Jordan. We'll just round out the top 10, but that's our top 5. All right, so 5 through 10, we got to leave 1 off because we got 6 people left, Jordan. So Marcus Gibbs, TJ Green, Jonathan Meeks, Kayvon Wallace, RJ Mickens.
Okay, let's go. Okay, number 6.
Where are we going? J-Ron?
Yeah, J-Ron. Let's go J-Ron at 6.
That's what I think. Jaron Curse, 6. All right, number 6, Jaron Curse. And then we got Marcus Gilchrist, TJ Green, Jonathan Meeks, Kayvon Wallace, RJ Mickens.
I'm going to go TJ Green at 7.
TJ Green, number 7. I like it. All right, so 6 and 7 is Jaron Curse and TJ Green. Then we got Marcus Gilchrist, Jonathan Meeks, Kayvon Wallace, RJ Mickens.
I'm going to go RJ Mickens.
RJ Mickens at 8.
Yeah, RJ was like, he had like 3, like basically 3 years of good production. Like, that's hard to come by.
Yeah.
I mean, he was one of the best players in the secondary. Like in 2020, he was probably your best player in the secondary in 2022. Best in 2023. Best in probably argue not the best.
RJ Mickens was, I mean, and his growth over his 3 years of starting.
Yeah.
Was huge. So I don't mind that there. Number 9, I'm kind of leaning Marcus Gilchrist.
Me too. I think I'm going to go Gilchrist.
I think he deserves to be up there. All right, so Marcus Gilchrist 9. And then the final spot, number 10, is between Jonathan Meeks and Kayvon Wallace. I'm going to go Kayvon Wallace.
Yeah. It doesn't feel right to leave off Kayvon, man. So, yeah.
All right. Here we go. We got it locked in. We're not going to change it. This was tough enough to get to this point. So it is what it is. We can talk about it and debate it at another date. Let us know what you guys think in the comments below. But here is our top 5. And then I'll give you our I'm just going to rattle off the top 10. This was supposed to be a top 5, but it was too tough. We did 10. But we are ranking them 1 to 10. So top 5 or top 10 safeties at Clemson of all time, according to me and Jordan. Number 1, Brian Dawkins. Number 2, Terry Kiner. Number 3, DeAndre McDaniel. Number 4, Dexter Davis. Number 5, Robert O'Neill. Number 6, Jaron Kearse. Number 7, TJ Green. Number 8, RJ Mickens. Number 9, Marcus Gilchrist. And number 10, Kayvon Wallace. Honorable mention, Jonathan Meeks. There you have it, folks. Tell us all the reasons why we were wrong in the comments below. I look forward to reading.
Tell us who we left off, because I already mentioned a couple.
Tell us who you would take off. Tell us who you would put in. I'm always interested to get your guys' perspective, because every Clemson fan has different perspectives at different positions. A lot of this stuff is, players that you liked more than another player, players that you remember, have better memories of than other players, so it's all, sort of subjective. Yeah, we got stats and stuff to lean on to get us, down to a certain amount of names, but it's always preference at certain points of doing any ranking. So let us know how we did. Let us know the changes you would make. Appreciate all you guys for that.